During the course of working with XML in the real world, there will be certain situations that you see coming up again and again. And in this section, we will talk about ways that you can deal with those situations using some real-world DOM algorithms. So as I was saying, when working with XML, there's a number of common processing tasks that you're going to have to perform, and you'll come across these fairly regularly. And there are some common algorithms that can be written as some standard functions which you can reuse in your specific projects. So I've got a few here. I'm going to provide about a half dozen of these, and the code I'm going to show you is code that you can just take and reuse in your own projects. So I'm going to start off by talking about the concept of node traversal. And what this basically means is there are common situations in processing XML where your code will need to visit nodes in an XML document, whether it's an XML data document or an XHTML file, whatever. It's common practice that you'll have to write some code that visits either all the nodes or some subset of nodes in the XML file. And node traversal is the way that you do that. And the word traversal means you visit nodes in a certain order. And we'll look at both depth first and breadth first node traversal. The rest of the algorithms I provide here are pretty useful functions that you can use in your code that perform some useful utility functions. For example, there's the isContainedBy function, and you can use that function to see if a given node is contained within a given type or within a specific node. The contains_node function is the opposite. You can use that to see if a certain node or an element in a document contains another node, either of a given type or a specific instance. The hasSibling function is used to see if a node has a sibling of either a specific type or a specific instance. And then finally, the getElementsByAttribute function can be used to get elements if they have an attribute that matches a specific value. Now, let me begin by talking about document traversal. Document traversal is a process by which you process the nodes in an XML document. And this is a fairly common task in just about any real-world setting. And there's two common ways of traversing an XML document. One of them is called depth first, and one of them is called breadth first. The depth first version refers to the fact that each node in a document is visited from the top down to the bottom. Actually, it might be more accurate when you see the example to call it bottom to top. The idea is that for any node, before we process it, we first visit all of its child nodes. So in the most extreme example, we would start at the document root, go all the way down to the leftmost leaf node, and then work our way back up. Now, in breadth first traversal, all of a node's siblings are processed in order before the child nodes of each one. Okay, so now that I've described what document traversal is, let's take a look at an example in action.